Hello and welcome to Those Four King Fangirls, where we talk all things nerdy book, TV, movie, pop culture, fandoms, and how they integrate into our adult lives. I'm Christine.
And I'm Natasha.
And today we are hosting our second annual Polis Bananas Fangirl Razzies. We are doing our least favorite movies, the worst movies of 2023 today. We've got a countdown. We've got superlatives. It's going to be a fun time. Last week we did the best movies if you missed it. But before that, we have some snap crackle pop culture news. Natasha, what do you have for us this week?
I kind of just want to talk about the Taylor stuff, but I just put something in here. In Henry Cavill news today, he has a new movie coming out that the trailer just dropped for, and it looks pretty fun. It's the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And sadly, Argyle, I guess, did not get good reviews that he's in that. And it did not make a lot in the box office. But
Did it not get good reviews and not make a lot in the box office? What did it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know, but it got bad reviews. I'm still going to watch it because
I'm going to watch it when it comes on streaming for
it has like a star-studded cast still, and it looks fun.
What is this new one about?
I think it's about something in the World War II. In the World War
II, as so many movies are.
There's this one clip of like Henry sticking his tongue out, and I was like, oh, that's cute. It says Churchill's Secret Warriors, the explosive true story of the Special Forces desperados of World War II.
All right. So the next huge bout of news for Taylor Swift's new album, the Tortured Poets Department, dropped the day after she announced it, while Natasha and I were at a premiere, but she was in the front row at the premiere and I was in the back row, and I was incessantly texting her like, Natasha, the track was dropped. It's savage.
I was just thinking about this because I wouldn't have ever seen the track list until possibly after the film because I wasn't on the internet, and you're just scrolling away back there. I'm like, if you would have just waited, we could have had a moment and gone through it together. But instead, she had to text me from the back.
Okay, we wouldn't have looked at it if I had waited. It's because I was by myself in the back because I didn't have a +1, so I was just like sitting there awkwardly on my phone. But I'm so glad I saw it because it was insane. We're gonna run through it. I made a video on TikTok running through it that night when I got home from the premiere because it's so like everyone's saying it's unhinged, but like that's not how I would describe it. It's just so savagely like Joe breakup album that I like couldn't even contain myself because this is what my favorite Taylor Swift albums are, the breakup albums. And they're so good. And she is so good at channeling all her emotion into the most brilliant pieces of art. So this is Folklore Part 3. And the first song is Fortnite, feat Post Malone. I don't really know Post Malone. I just know the name because everyone talks about it.
I just know his stuff from like popular, like from the radio.
Okay, also, I made a joke because Fortnite obviously is like a 2-week period, but on my little video, I was like, is it about Joe playing too much Fortnite? Maybe. And someone commented being like, do you even know what Fortnite means? And I was like,
oh my, we read. Who do we not know what Fortnite is?
Insulted.
What a Fortnite is.
I was like, I was making a joke, but thanks. But the next track 2 is the Tortured Poets Department, which I was talking about how I think that the Tortured Poets Department is her and Joe writing all these tortured poetry songs about their relationship during the pandemic and onward. We got Folklore and then Evermore, of course. The sister albums that are not about them, but were about them all along. And I saw a thread on Twitter that's like going viral about like why Taylor Swift lied to us about Betty and the characters of Folklore and how it's really just about her and Joe. And I was just so annoyed.
Wait, why were you annoyed specifically?
I mean, this is the thing. It's just annoying because everyone was like poo-pooing on me when I said it when it came out. I got so many comments being like, no. Now that everyone's finally on board with it, I'm just annoyed because so many people shat on it.
I still feel Delulu thinking that like they are characters, it's like Betty and James, and like I feel like those songs are characters, but I feel like other songs like this, Tolerated and all that. Well, that's from.
They
Evermore.
are. The thing is, there are characters, but it's portraying like events that she's going through, like things feelings and emotions that she's going through. It's not like they're not characters. It's just like everyone was like, this is completely separate from her life, but it's not. It's a reflection of her emotions and what she's going through.
Because like if you ever create a story yourself, Christine, you're a writer.
Yeah.
I've written fan fiction. Like you infuse that with everything
you're going through. Yeah.
You can't
or you've
not
been through.
It is very hard to write something that, especially like an emotional battle that you've never been through.
Yeah, exactly. You want to write about the stuff you're going through and you put it behind like different characters, but that doesn't mean that it's completely separate from your life. Mm-hmm. Anyway. The Torture Poets Department is track 2. Track 3 is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, which is her, I guess.
I imagine this as a Starbucks lovers. What is that song?
Blank Space.
I imagine this as like a Blank Space part 2, and I see like the music video of her just like beating up all of these like boy toys, like a jet ski, a car, like Legos.
I feel like this is a completely different vibe from that, but we'll see.
Listen, I like this vibe, and I'm gonna stick with it until it comes out.
This is a very like My Tears Ricochet vibe. Or like at most poppy, it's a vigilante shit vibe. Oh my god. Track 4 is Down Bad. Track 5 is So Long London. So this is her big like emotional track 5. It's really sad.
Yeah. I love London, and it's so sad because it's like I'm sure she has so many memories attached to so many different places in London, and
with Joe.
When she goes back, she's just going to be inundated with
I mean, she'll refresh London the next time she goes and she's happy, but right now I'm sure it's hard. Yeah. And the next one is a Little Mermaid reference. But Daddy, I love him.
Little Mermaid. Yeah, someone, I think Little Mermaid is one of Taylor's favorite Disney princesses because she's dressed up as her in the past.
Ariel. Yeah.
And then she's dressed up as her as a little girl, I think. I saw a picture. So,
yeah. Yeah. And this brings me right back to that line in All Too Well 10-minute version where her dad's like turning 21 is supposed to be fun. Like when Jake Gyllenhaal didn't show up at her birthday party.
Yep.
Okay, the next one, track 7, is Fresh Out of the Slammer. And there's that line in He Can Be My Jailer, Burton to His Tailor. Like the isolation that she was with, she maintained while she was with Joe.
Nicole says No Body, No Crime sequel.
I really think it's like the relationship jail.
So I read this out loud to Kayla as we were sitting there at the premiere, and there's two women behind me who lean forward and they're like, Jove's going down. I read, so I was just so then I was reading off like the track list to like everyone around us, because then everyone was like very interested, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, Kayla said for this track,
I was reading it to Amanda next to me.
She goes, did Taylor date someone who went to jail? Is that what it is about?
Oh my God.
No, Kayla.
I'm excited about, so the next one is Florida.
Yeah.
3 exclamation points.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happened in Florida, but it's Feet Florence and the Machine. And I know Brits are always so excited to go to Florida. Like all the people I know from England are like so excited about Florida. So I'm wondering.
Florida is where on the tour stop, I think she was where she was when the news broke that they broke up.
Really? Oh, I thought it was
That's what I
Nashville
saw.
for some reason. Was that the first one after, maybe?
Maybe it was the first one after, or when she changed the one.
The one.
Something like that.
All right. And then, okay, the next track is Guilty as Sin, which self-explanatory kind of, but we'll see exactly what it's about. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me takes me right back to Anti-Hero and how she feels like she is a giant and everyone else is a sexy baby.
Yep.
And I bet that was amplified by like the way that Joe felt about her fame. Because it made her feel even more self-conscious of it. And then I Can Fix Him. No, really, I can. Which is just such a relatable concept, obviously. And especially when you're in a relationship for so long and you've put in so much and you're like, please let me be able to fix this. Like, I felt that way so much in my most recent relationship. I was just like, we have to be able to fix this. And we couldn't. And it was like, when I started to fix it, when I started trying to fix it is when it was so clear that it was not something that I could fix.
All right, this next one, Christine said Lommel, and she needed to look it up.
I know.
How did you not know what that meant?
Wait,
it's love of my life.
Who uses Lommel? Like, is it like a fanfic word? Like, do you think that's why?
No,
Who
it's
says
like
Lommel?
I know what it is.
I've never heard this.
You're so old. What?
No? What do you mean? I was around for the age of internet. I invented acronyms.
Yeah, this is an acronym. I can't believe you haven't seen it. Yeah, it's love of my life.
Tell me a context in which you've used Lommel before.
I have definitely seen it in like the romance girly realm. Or like tweets and things like that. I don't know if any of my friends have used it, but like I knew exactly what it was. I don't know. There's a Harry Styles song called Love of My Life too.
Is it called Lommel?
No, it's called Love of My Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole says she used it as an Insta caption on a pic with her husband.
See, I haven't had a love of my life, so and I'm very new to the romance world. I mean, as of like 2020.
Yeah. So Sophie said, I feel like we use it in comments on Insta and Twitter and stuff too. Like, yeah, I've seen it like people like hyping me up, like, oh my gosh, you're the love of my life. Like, look at you in this outfit, that kind of thing.
It feels too intimate for me.
Christine, you're the love of my life.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Me with Pedro, Abby says. Me with Henry Cavill.
Katie, I literally said, can you use it?
No one says it like LOML. Like
Lommel.
No one says it like that. We just use it in like text.
You're my Lommel. All right. Next track, I Could Do It With a Broken Heart. For me, that really just feels like Eras Tour. Like, I can, and it's so sad. The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I don't know what this is exactly referring to, but obviously it feels like Joe. But we'll see.
Oh God, that song. Oh. Sorry, I just know it's gonna be bad.
Next song is Alchemy, which is, turning stuff into gold that isn't gold. And there's Gold Rush, of course, that it feels like it's referring back to, and how she always talks about her love with Joe being golden and gold. So that sounds very sad. But it could be a rock and roll sad. Clara Bow, which all the Swifties have been looking up, was a famous actress who checked herself into an institution after the public was so closely scrutinizing all her relationships and stuff. I guess that was
She's a silent film actress, right?
I don't know if it was silent films. I can't remember, but I do remember the line about her being so closely scrutinized that she ended up checking herself into an institution because it was driving her mad. And her star on Hollywood Boulevard is at the corner of Sunset and Vine, which is in her song, Sunset and Vine, or whatever the lyric is in that song. That's where the star is.
What song is that from?
Is it from Delicate or something? It's from something from Rep. Gorgeous. Yeah, there we go. Abby, it's gorgeous. Whiskey on Ice, Sunset and Vine. Yeah, there we go.
Whiskey on Ice, Sunset and Vine.
You ruined my life by not being mine. Ding! And then the bonus track is the manuscript, which of course can mean so many things, but in terms of Taylor Swift songs, it feels connected to Dear Reader. We will see. I'm thrilled.
Katie says, okay, don't come for me. I'm nervous about the synth pop vibes because sometimes those songs all sound the same to me. I really want all these songs to feel distinct. And when people were referencing Dear Reader for manuscript, Dear Reader, I don't love that song because I think of the synthy sounds within it. I listened to it yesterday and I was like, yeah, I don't love this song.
Okay, I think everyone's talking about synth pop way too much because that's just what it was listed under on Apple Music or whatever, how they had to put it under something. But the last album, Midnights, was listed under rock and stuff. It's not rock. I feel don't put too much stock in that until we actually get the album. I don't think we're gonna know what it feels like. And if it's any indication with the vibes of what it looks like, it feels very folklore. We'll see. I mean, I would think Evermore actually has a synth pop sound to it in terms of a lot of those songs, like Closure and stuff.
Yeah.
Katie says, I just don't like when there's more Jack Antonoff than Taylor in the song, but that's my controversial opinion. Please don't hate me. No, I mean, I feel that too. I think that's actually a huge opinion that everyone has. That's why I loved Folklore so much, because it was more Aaron Dessner than Jack Antonoff in any of those songs. So we will see. But I'm sure whatever it is going to be amazing. All right.
I don't want to be kicked out of the Swiftie Club. I think everyone is allowed their opinions, and you can love her and still not like everything she does. And that's healthy.
Yeah, of course. And I agree. When things are too poppy that Taylor has written, you can't hear the lyrics. And that's why 1989 was not my favorite for a very long time. That's why I don't know the lyrics to clean until this past year. All right. moving on. Last thing on the news docket, there's a book coming out May 21st that I'm really excited about called Attached at the Hip. And it is a Survivor-esque rom-com where our lead characters, our people, the castaways, get attached by 8 feet of rope to a missed connection. And the game is like Survivor, but with a romantic slant. And the lead is 23 years old. And she's 6 months out of college and she's like figuring out adult life. And it's a grand old time. And I wrote it.
Really?
I'm an author. I don't know if we've talked about this either, but I'm an author. It's available for pre-order now. Pre-orders are so important. So if you want to support my career, I'd really appreciate you pre-ordering it. If you're going to be interested in reading it. The link is in the show notes. You can pre-order the digital copy. You can pre-order the hard copy. You can pre-order an audiobook. Brittany Presley's doing the audiobook. She's done my past 2 audiobooks. She's amazing, like phenomenal. If you listen to Again But Better, you know how good she was. Better Together is her and Carissa Vacker, who's also great, because it's 2 point of views for Better Together. But Attached at the Hip is 1 POV, so it'll be all Brittany. And yeah, that's Attached at the Hip. I'm so excited. And the link is in the show notes. Thanks, y'all. Thank you for supporting my book. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Oh, wait, we have to tell the story of when someone, at the premiere that we just went to, which we'll talk about in a second, Taya was like, oh yeah, I met someone who like is a influencer about influence. He does influencing
about Survivor.
And then she goes and gives a whole elevator pitch to him about your book.
Attached at the Hip. Yeah, I wish I like met this person.
I know.
If she got their name, I could like talk to them and look at their content and stuff. But yeah, that was cool of her.
Yeah, she's like, my friend is writing a Survivor type book, but like they're attached at the hip. And he goes, like surgically attached? And she's like, no, like between, like they're tethered between rope.
I don't think she said is writing. I think she said has a book coming out, right? Like, it's written.
Yeah.
It's done. All right. Yeah, no, that was fun. So we're going to move into what right now, and we'll talk about that premiere. But book-wise, we're both reading House of Flame and Shadow. I am now on chapter like 29. Jesus. What chapter are you at?
6. I went back last night and started reading with my eyes chapter 1 again because I was like, I don't like this way of reading where I'm like, I need to write down everything so that I don't remember.
You don't need to write down everything. This is the thing. Write down stuff that strikes you, and like all we need are like bullet notes about what happened in the chapter. I know but especially when we're doing big chunks, we don't need to like track every single thing that happened. This is like book talk chunks. Recap chunks.
But I like it because I can't remember everything typically. So if I have down the notes, so what I've decided what I'm doing is I'm highlighting chunks that are important and I'm putting down bullet points of like the main stuff so that if I need to, I can just go back and reference it. But I think it's for my own sanity because I forget things so easily and I'm like, I don't remember who this is. I don't know how this goes into this and
all right. But yeah, I'm tracking it like I do for a book talk. So like if I don't feel strongly about anything that happened in a chapter, I'll just like write a sentence about what happened in the chapter. Yeah. And that's it.
That's what I've done so far. But I felt like chapter 1, there was so much info down, but there
was a lot in those first couple chapters. I have like pages of notes from them. There was a lot that happened in like the middle 20s chapters. It was just like so much information. I was like, I can't write down all of this. I'm just gonna put down what I remember.
Okay.
All right. So that's coming. We're gonna be recording our first chunk of Office chapter chat soon. But movie-wise, this week we got to go to the Lisa Frankenstein premiere.
Yeah.
Natasha, how did you feel about the film?
I really like the film. We got to see it with like the whole cast. I was in the very front row and my neck still hurts because it was just, you guys, I was so close to the screen and we were in like these very rigid chairs.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like we could recline or anything. So I had to just like either sit up and then like look up, or I was like slouched down, but my ass was like on the very edge of the seat and that was more uncomfortable. And I'm just too tall. But I loved the film. I thought it took some really wacky twists and turns, and
it was very wacky.
And I did not expect it. The only thing, like my only criticism, which I've said, is I didn't necessarily understand the main character's, Lisa's, like decision making, or like really what propelled her to to like make these choices in the film, because I don't feel like they set up her character very well, and there wasn't enough like of her. I don't know, I felt like there wasn't enough.
Yeah, we could have had a little bit more extensive origin scene. Like we had one quick scene. But yeah, it was, so the premiere was 2 days ago now, and I RSVP'd like really fast to this premiere, but didn't say I was bringing a +1, and they were like, "Are you bringing a +1?" And I forgot to respond to that, but I had already responded like, "I'm coming. This is my name. This is this." And come the day before, Natasha was like, "Oh, they changed the venue," and I hadn't gotten the email about the venue change, so I was like, "Oh, great. So I'm not on the list because I didn't tell them who I'm bringing for a +1 because I wasn't bringing one." So Natasha texts like her contact to make sure I'm on the list. They say that I am, and I'll get a confirmation email the next day. The next day I don't get a confirmation email. I email being like, "Hey, am I on the list for this? Because I haven't got a confirmation email." They're like, "Yep, here's your confirmation email. Just sent it." We get there half an hour earlier than we're allowed in. And they're like, "You have to go wait
across
the street because we're not allowed to check anyone in until 5:30.
Also, yeah, mind you, we're in the middle of like a big rainstorm here in California. And I left OC at like, I told myself 3, but we didn't end up leaving until like 3:30, which was not my fault, by the way. I was on time. And we left at 3:30, got to Christine's around like 4:30ish, and then Uber to the event, which took about like 20 minutes. We were there on time in the middle of a rainstorm because they told us to be there early.
Yep. And they were like, "Sorry, there's nothing we can do till 5:30. Come 5:30. There's this huge line that's formed." And we're like, "Is this for us? Like, why couldn't we start the motherfucking line?" Like, and so we're like awkwardly on this line, and then they open it up for like the people who are there to walk the carpet. So like we go up to a different line. That another line is already formed in a different area for people who are walking the carpet. The guy wouldn't let us walk by to that line before. Anyway, so we finally get up there, and they don't have my name on the list. And so I have to wait to the side and wait for a million people to come and like check on my name. And like Natasha is trying to help me, and then like she finally gets online because like there's such a long line now to walk the carpet. And I finally get my ticket, and we're like still like 8 people away from being able to walk the carpet. And then they're like, "The carpet's closed. Just go watch the screening." I'm like, we're expected to post content from this fucking carpet because that's why they invite us to the premiere. So we just had to go in and watch the movie. But luckily they didn't like take down the carpet. So later on we were able to go back out there. But oh yeah, before the movie started, we went back out there though to try to get on after they brought the celebrities on. We were brought out there to try to get on right after all the celebrities were done, because what they do is let the influencer people on the carpet, and then they clear it for the cast. And Cole arrived and was just like walking right by me, and then 2 other people asked to get a picture with him that were right next to me, and so I was like, "Oh, can I get one?" And then I got a selfie with Cole. And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
I was just like, watched it as it happened. I was like, oh, good for you, Christine.
It was just right here. He was right there. It was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to ask. But then it made it so later, like when we were at the after party and he was there, I felt weird about talking to him like at all because I was like, I got a selfie without like really talking on the carpet at all. So I like feel so like weird and fandom-y.
But yeah, we were just kind of like corralled on the carpet for a bit. I mean, it was really fun because we just watched everyone arrive, like Catherine.
Yeah,
Newton.
we got to see the cast come.
Zelda Williams is the director, and she is Robin Williams' daughter, which is really cool.
Wait, who is Robin Williams' daughter?
The director, Zelda Williams.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, someone told me online. And she is named after the character Zelda.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I saw that fun fact, but I didn't see that she's Robin Williams' daughter, which is much more interesting to me.
I think so. She got really emotional talking about the film, and I think, like, I don't know, I have no idea what she's done in the past, and I will look it up, but I'm assuming it's because her dad's not there, and can't see this big accomplishment that she's made.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the film is written by Diablo Cody, who did Jennifer's Body. So if that gives you any inkling to this movie, this movie, like I really thought it was going to come in. It was going to be like some like cute, like Warm Bodies-esque movie.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
But it's like twisty and gory and sexual,
It's very much like an Edward Scissorhands for now. Like, that's what I would directly compare it to. It's very much like a Helena Bonham Carter character is Lisa Frankenstein. She looks like Helena Bonham Carter. Like, she's like young Helena Bonham Carter in this movie, Catherine Newton. And then Cole's character is very much like a Johnny Depp-ish, like Edward Scissorhands, in my opinion. Like, even he's rocking the facial hair, like, and the facial hair looks good on Cole. Like, he's found his look, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. His brother was there, and with Barbara. Did you see them walk in?
Yes. Yeah, they walked in when we were there by the door too.
They didn't make it to the after party, but there's one of the Riverdale guys was there. The main guy, Archie. Yeah, he was there. He was like walking in front of us. I was like, oh, that's Archie.
Yeah.
And then Catherine McNamara was there too from Shadowhunters.
Yeah, I kept trying to catch her eye and kept missing it. It's so awkward because like I wanted to say hi, like we've talked a bunch. And every time I was like near her, I would look over and then like she wouldn't be looking, and you know how it's like she's kind of looking right past me, so I don't want to be like weirdly keep staring. So awkward times, man. But with Cole, Taya had interviewed him last week or something. So she was like, do you want to talk to Cole? And I was like, yeah, kind of. I want to be like, we're birthday twins. Like, all I could think was like Joey Tribbiani being like, I'm your identical hand twin. Like, also, Cole has an actual birthday twin. But like, I just want to, like, it's sharing a birthday with someone is a thing. Like, there's this weird connective tissue, I feel like, that's formed with people you share birthdays with. Like, anyway, it's like your astrological connection, but stronger. It's like Leo times a million. But anyway, Taya tries to catch Cole because he's just, a lot of people are asking him for pictures, and she's like, can I interest you in a conversation? And he was like, a conversation about what? And she was like, anything you want. And I'm just like standing next to her in this little like triangle, but like he's, and he's like, what about like hold on, let me get the exact quote.
Did you write it down?
Taya wrote it to me in like her Uber Venmo. Hold on, transactions. Okay. Do you want to talk about our country's political and socio-economical state? he says to her. And she's like, sure. And he's like, let's talk about oligarchy. And she's like, what's oligarchy? And I'm just standing here being like, oh, what is this conversation? And how do I jump in and say I'm a birthday twin? And then he literally like says, like rambles off a bunch of pretentious shit and turns around and starts talking to somebody else. It was just like such a pretentious, like, I am cooler than thou in the smart department thing to say. Like, let's talk about the socioeconomical status.
Yeah, I don't love it. I know Taya was saying, he's known for being like a film bro. So
he's known for being pretentious. Like, he literally is.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like very Pierce Brown coded.
It does. Okay, well, I had another line loaded up. My line loaded up that I was gonna say. I was like, "Hi, I'm Christine. I'm a big fan of your work as Ben in Friends." Like, that's what I was gonna say. He plays Ben in Friends.
Oh my god!
And Friends is my favorite show of all time, and I'm a big fan of his work. In the episode with the pranks. Didn't get to say it. No. He just started away, and me and Taya looked at each other and was like, what the fuck just happened?
There were a lot of people there, and we were like trying to maybe talk to Catherine Newton. I just had I just didn't have it in me to try to like strike up a conversation with someone. I was like, I don't really feel like doing this. Because you kind of have to like really build yourself up to get to that point and like put yourself in a vulnerable position, just like Christine and Taya did. And usually I'm in that like mood, but I wasn't that night. I was like, I just want to eat the food and like take pictures.
I was like, I should try to talk to people. And then like, so we like tracked Catherine McNamara around the room a few times and like tried to position ourselves. And every time it was the same thing where I would like try to make eye contact and like just miss. We tried. And I wasn't going to be awkward and like stand behind her. So that was that.
Yeah, she was, when we came back in that second time, she was in that corner getting popcorn. Well, and then you went and got a churro, and I knew she was right there, and that was my in. But you had already gone, and I'm like, damn it. So I don't know. And I think she saw both of us, and then I think maybe, I don't know. I think that was our time.
Literally, like, she was walking towards like perpendicular to me at one point at the after party, and I started walking towards her because I was like, this is it, I can catch her and say hi. Like, she's by herself, and then a group of people stopped her, and I was like, So, but it was a really nice after party, and they had good food and like good photo ops, and the movie was quirky and weird and fun. Yeah. So if that's your vibe, like if you enjoy like a quirky, strange, romantic-ish film that gives like Helena Bonham Carter, Johnny Depp, this is a film for you.
Yes.
All right. Also, okay, I'll just quickly mention that I finally watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a film that everybody loves and I've never seen, that came out in 2004.
Like, is this like a thing that we wanted you to watch? I am confused.
Everyone's told me about it my whole life and been like, you would love it. You would love it. And I'm like, it sounds sad. It sounds sad. But it really is like the movie manifestation of the idea that it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved before at all. Have you seen it? You've seen it, right?
I saw it when I was very young, and I don't really remember a lot of it.
Okay. It's about like a breakup. I mean, it's about a relationship, right, between Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey. And they have broken up, and there's this company, kind of like Severance, that can erase relationships from your brain. So you don't have to live with the pain of like the breakup. Wow. And so Kate Winslet's character, it opens up with Kate and Jim Carrey meeting at a beach. And what you don't know until like 20 minutes in is that that's them re-meeting. Like they've already forgotten each other and they're meeting again. So you kind of, what's really beautiful about it is that you know that from the beginning, after, as soon as we go back and we see her hair's a different color, that like they've already re-met. So it's okay. Like they're going to start again, because the whole time, like then we go to, like, she has forgotten him completely. And then he's so upset. He's like, fine, I want to forget her too. And then like we watch the whole process as like we go through all their memories backwards together. And they're being erased, and he realizes halfway through that like he doesn't want to erase these memories. Like these are some of the happiest moments of his life. Like why is he doing this? But he can't get up because he's like put out so that they could do the memory erasing. He's in his head. Everyone's in this movie. Mark Ruffalo is the guy doing the erasing. Kristen Dunst is the assistant. Elijah Wood is the other assistant.
Wow.
I was just like, what is this cast?
Wow.
Like literally everyone's a huge name. Mark Ruffalo is so young that he's cute and literally like looks like young Noah Centineo. It's so wild. And it was the first movie that I saw that dealt with memories in such a really like creative, rings so true way was Inception. But this actually is very much like that in the way that the memories are dealt with and the way that it's shot. And it's so cool the way that it's put together and the way that memories are portrayed. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it and you liked Inception, and if it sounds interesting at all. It was really cool to watch as like a film person and a person who loves like exploring like the idea of like nostalgia and memory, the way that it's portrayed in film. Yeah. Anyway, it was good. And I'm glad I watched it finally. Everyone my whole life has been like, my favorite movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I'm like, I've never seen it and I have no idea what it's about. So, all right, we're going to move into our Razzies. Unless you had something else that you want to talk about. Natasha.
No, I just say I want to watch that movie now.
Oh yeah, you should rewatch it. And okay. Oh, we're going to move into our Razzies, our second annual Razzies. Before we do, I'm going to take a second to thank everybody out there listening. If you don't already, we love it if you follow the show for free in your favorite podcast listening app, or if you like the visual version, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@those4kingfangirls for free and never miss an episode. If you love the show and you haven't yet, we really appreciate you leaving a review in Apple Podcasts or giving us like a 5-star rating really quickly on Spotify. That helps new people find the show, and it's super easy and we really appreciate it. If you don't know, we have a Patreon. We are a viewer-supported show, and we have lots of perks over there. Our biggest or our most consistent being a half an hour extra show every single week where we talk about more personal things called Fangirl Tea Time. And that is available at the $5 level. And right now there's a free trial, so you can get our Team Jacob level for 7 days for free. Try it out. See if you like it. You get to come to these recordings, be a part of the conversation as it's happening, and get the half an hour extra show every single week. And we also offer annual subscriptions where you can get like a 16% discount, 16% off discount if you want to subscribe annually instead of month to month. And that way you get like a month and a half for free. That's also available. Yeah, we got lots of fun perks there. Check it out. Links in the show notes. And also, if you don't know already, Chapter Chat has been moved to its own separate show. Natasha, tell them about Chapter Chat.
Yeah, so every Thursday we are releasing Chapter Chat, and we have ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, which is officially all out. There's 4 parts of it, so you can listen to a very in-depth breakdown of ACOTAR, and we are also releasing ACOMAF, and we're trying to do House of Flame and Shadows as well. So there's all of that all together. If you want to listen to like a very in-depth breakdown, and that's out every Thursday, and it's separate from the show. So it's not the end of the episode anymore, because we want it to be accessible for all our listeners and new listeners, because a lot of people are just skipping if they haven't read it. So now you have the option to listen once you finish the novel, and you don't have to scrub through the whole episode.
Yep. All right. So, the Razzies 2023.
Yes.
This was harder than I thought it was going to be because I forgot to write down movies I didn't like. So
are there more movies that you watched this year that you...
Yes, so I've watched like 5 other movies that I just didn't have on my list.
Yeah.
Which was wild because I was like looking at lists of the worst movies of 2023 and I was like, oh yeah, I watched that. Oh yeah, like why is this on my list? Wild. So we're going to kick it off with our most disturbing movie of 2023. Natasha, what is yours?
It's Saltburn, of course.
Yes.
I did really enjoy this movie. I just was not expecting some of those scenes. And then we talked about it, I think, in our first episode coming back from break of season 2. And I've like read things that are like more intense than that, but seeing someone drink out of a bathtub drain it's just gross. It's gross.
Nasty.
It's nasty. And like some of the other stuff was fine. Like I've seen it, but still, like it was a lot.
It was just disturbing, but like I enjoyed the movie too, but it's disturbing.
Yeah.
And then my most disturbing is also a movie that I really liked, but I was highly disturbed by watching Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. That's why I was so anxious the whole time because it was hard to watch, which is what I wanted. This isn't actually a Razzie. It's just like the superlative for most disturbing goes to movies that aren't bad, just disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if, it was disturbing because it wasn't necessarily something that we had expected to see because coming off of, the first Hunger Games.
Yeah. I still have to watch Poor Things. Abby says Poor Things for me, even though it was good. Yeah. Why isn't it available for rent yet? I have to check on that.
I know. I really wanted to see it like a couple weekends ago, but everyone's like, no, I can't have time to do that. I'm like, I just want to watch it.
I know, me too. All right, you want to do the next category?
Yes. So next superlative is most enjoyable bad movie of 2023. Christine, what is this movie that you have?
You don't know this movie?
No.
So I wouldn't categorize this movie as bad, but it's like the most like quote bad movie that I watched that was so enjoyable. 80 for Brady. It's about all these 80-year-old women who love Tom Brady, the football player, and they watch football together. And it's so cute. And they want to go to the Super Bowl so bad. So they enter this contest to get tickets and they all go to the Super Bowl together. And then they realize that their tickets aren't real. All right, like, and they spend the time just trying to get into the Super Bowl because they love Tom Brady so much. It's so cute. I mean, like, it's not like a great movie. Like, it's not like peak film, but it's so fun. It's Jane Fonda and it's Grace and Frankie and that other lady. Like, all these women. I don't know all their names, but like they're all very famous older women.
Like Sally Hawkins, Sally,
yes, that Sally. I don't know her last name right now, but I do know it if somebody said it.
Yeah.
It was really cute. It was streaming on Peacock. Highly recommend for like a fluffy watch. It was so fun. I had a great time.
Yeah. I do remember some of the PR, like the interviewing stuff, because they were all just fabulous talking about each other.
Yeah, they're so nice. Like, they're so like, they're just so fun to like listen to, talk to each other, because it's just like so hopeful for being old.
That reminds me of my grandma, because I went to go see her yesterday and I'm like, oh, what are you watching? And she's like, we only watch 2 things, and that's Walker, Texas Ranger, and football. And I actually like football now. And we recorded all of these games because there's not going to be any more football for the rest of the year. So we're just going to rewatch them because we don't remember what happens.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Her and my grandpa, because he has dementia and he only likes 2 things.
What's your most enjoyable bad, Natasha?
Haunted Mansion.
The new one?
The new one. I forgot this came out until I was looking at like movies that came out this year.
Because it was like the start of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
I mean, no, the actor's strike. The writer's strike was already happening. Yeah, yeah.
And we didn't watch it until it came out on Disney Plus, and I thought it was going to be like kind of dumb, but it was hilarious. It was so funny. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just going to be like a dumb remake, but they actually really incorporated.
Wait, it was a remake? It wasn't a two? It wasn't a sequel?
It was not a sequel to the first Haunted Mansion. They just kind of redid it. Because the first Haunted Mansion didn't have a lot of, like, it didn't even look like the ride. Like, it I don't know.
Yes, it did.
I guess you're right. It kind of did.
Yeah.
I did love I love the original.
I love the original. Yeah, with Eddie Murphy.
But I feel like this one had more tie-ins to the ride itself.
Because the ride has changed. Because it used to look just like the Eddie Murphy one. It used to be scarier. I don't like the ride anymore.
It did not used to be scarier.
Yes, it did. Everything was more real, and now it's more like projections and hieroglyphs. Not hieroglyphs, like CGI. Like it literally used to be like more. What is it called when you use effects that aren't CGI? Practical. There used to be a lot more practical effects in there.
There's still a ton more practical. It's mostly all practical, except for like a few projections. Like at the end of the ride. That green
lady. This used to be the scariest part. There's this part where like you circle around the green head, that's on that table, and it used to look so real, like that lady in there, and now it looks like a computer image in there.
Yeah, I can see that.
That was my favorite part when I was little.
Well, I also think there's a haze over those memories because you were little and it might have been more scarier then. But so they had, I think, they had like the Hatbox Ghost, which I didn't think they had in the first movie. He was like the main villain. But Tiffany Haddish was just so fucking funny.
Oh, I didn't realize she's in it.
The whole movie. She's the best. Her. Yeah. Most enjoyable bad movie.
All right. Our next category is the most meh movie of 2023. Natasha, what is your most meh movie?
I put two down. I put Asteroid City and the new Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. And
you couldn't decide which one was more meh.
Yeah, because I mean, I fell asleep during Asteroid City, and I did not hold my attention. I thought it was going to be like way more interesting. I don't think I like what's his face's films.
I don't like that director. Yeah, I don't like his films either. Like, they don't have enough character to hold my attention. They're all about like star power and like quirky set pieces.
Exactly. And this one was about aliens, and I love alien movies, and it just was kind of dumb. Like it was just mostly like shock to see all these big stars in the movie, and then them playing different types of roles, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's that, and then that's person, and like I really like the costuming and the set design, and that's about it. So yeah, very meh for me. And Indiana Jones, like, it was good, but like it didn't need to be made.
It was cool, good.
Unnecessary. Okay, what about you?
My most meh movie, and I'm not saying that this shouldn't be made, I just was like meh about it, was Air, the new film that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were in and did together.
For Nike? For Nike, the Nike movie? Is it Nike?
No.
Air Jordan.
Is it? It's Air Jordan, but like...
Is that Nike?
The brand... Is it Nike? Wow, I can't even remember. Nike. I feel like it's not.
Nike.
It's not.
I think it's Nike.
I feel like they were making fun of Nike.
No, I think they're making fun of Adidas.
Whatever it was. It's the story of a brand needing something to save them from being not cool anymore. And they are trying to get Michael Jordan to do a line, sign him to do a line specifically for their brand. And this is like a new thing because usually they have people wearing their stuff, but not designing their own line. Okay, Air Jordans are a part of Nike. Okay, so you're right. I can't remember anything from this movie, apparently, because I was so mad about it. I was so excited for like, I don't know, to see like Michael Jordan design his line and see like people being excited about it. But it was all about the corporation and the corporate end of things. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't as endearing or fun. I was expecting some Space Jam and there was no Space Jam.
I agree. We don't need these like corporation hero stories. It just, no, like I wish we had seen more of Michael Jordan, and
we only saw the back of his head because I don't think they had the rights to have him in the movie.
Or like they wanted to keep it aloof so that people wouldn't, because it wasn't about him. It was about
what it was. Like it was about Matt Damon trying to get him to join Nike. But I mean, the real star of the movie is Viola Davis, who plays Michael Jordan's mom and has this fantastic monologue over the phone about how Michael Jordan needs to be getting a cut of the profits for Michael Jordan's line. Because they're like, that's just not the way we do things. And she's like, his name is literally on the shoe. This is new and different, and you're going to give him like this much of the profits. And it was a really great speech that she had. But the film as a whole, meh.
Yeah.
All right. What is next?
Most disappointing movie of 2023.
Oh my God. My most disappointing movie. I was really excited about Reese Witherspoon being in a movie with Ashton Kutcher. Mm-hmm. And then Your Place or Mine was so bad I couldn't even finish.
I agree. It's so bad. Why?
So bad. It was like painful to watch how bad it was. Ugh. Like how terrible the chemistry was. It was just so non-existent and forced.
We got a lot of rom-coms this year, and so many of them just didn't hit the mark.
Wait, which ones else didn't hit the? Oh, like there's another one on my list,
which is Ghosted. And
this was the number one, Natasha, I kid you not, on like 3 worst movies of 2023 list.
Sorry, are you done talking about Your Place or Mine?
Yeah, there's not much else to say. Yeah. They were just as awkward as they were in the pictures on the red carpet.
So, Ghosted is with Chris Evans and... Oh, no.
What's her name? Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas.
And I was so excited for this movie. Like, they're both hot. It's a spy movie, and
the trailer looked fun. The trailer looked fun.
There was like a hate to love type of situation, and it was just not good. It was bad writing. I don't know. I think they had chemistry. I don't know. It was overshadowed by the poor writing and the poor. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I think it took me 3 tries to finish the movie because I watched it and then I paused it because I just was so bored and frustrated, and then I turned it on again the next day, and then I watched a little bit of it and then I turned it off, and like finally got to the end, and the end was just ridiculous. I'm like Anyone But You came out this year, and that was great, and then we got Ghosted.
Well, but you came out after Ghost.
Yeah, I know.
But compared, it's night and day. Which, lol, is another rom-com that wasn't great.
Yeah. How do you read a script and then you're like, yes, this is the movie I want to do, and then you sign on to it?
To be fair, that script could have changed throughout the process. They could have been signed on to it before there was a solid script. It could have just been a pitch synopsis of the film they liked. So there's a lot of different ways they could get onto the script without actually having the final script. Yeah, sad times, man. All right. Our next category is the most overrated movie of 2023.
Right, ready?
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oppenheimer.
And like, again, Oppenheimer, not a bad film, but it is so blown out of proportion, in my opinion, about how good it is.
Overrated for sure. I just like, I know Alex is editing this episode and he's going to be like, what? And then he's going to turn it off and he's going to pause it and he's going to be like, why? It's my favorite movie. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You can have your opinion. I didn't enjoy it as much as you did.
I was like waiting to enjoy it more the whole time. Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of it does have also to do with the fact that there's so many old white men in this movie and not a lot of like women that have agency in the movie. So that's also something that kind of frustrated me while watching it. Like I wanted Florence Pugh's character to be a bigger character. I wanted Emily Blunt to be a bigger character, but really they were just kind of on the sideline to Oppenheimer's journey, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of just disappointing after being like, oh, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh in this movie.
And then the only thing that people talk about is the Florence Pugh like sex scene.
Yeah. And it really is just there. Like, yeah, my favorite part of the film was how they handled the actual situation with the bombing. Like how watching Oppenheimer talk about it was like my favorite part because it was interesting the way it was shot and the way the sound was.
I like the music of the film. Like I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is, like, we're left too with this notion that, you know, that we already know that our whole world could be blown up because of these bombs. And it's like, great. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, it's just depressing. And the whole story is kind of sad. So, yeah, that was Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Do you think like between Oppenheimer and Killers of a Flower Moon, which are both very, very long but also critically acclaimed movies, like as a woman, do you prefer Killers of a Flower Moon? Because no, okay,
no, that one hurt too much.
Yeah, it did hurt too much.
Like Oppenheimer was more watchable for me. I definitely like didn't get bored in the same way and I didn't get hurt in the same way. Like it wasn't like as traumatic to watch it happening over and over again. I didn't scream at the screen over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think? What's your opinion on that?
I think because I knew how Oppenheimer was going to end in a sense, like I think I did prefer Killers of a Flower Moon because it was something I have never learned about and it was such like new information and a new way to empathize with people, and like the fact that we didn't even know about this in history was crazy. And because like people who are not white just get written off. We don't get to learn their history because it's not deemed important. So,
yep. No, it's definitely an important story. I just think it was harder to watch.
For sure.
The abuse. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to move us on into our top 5 worst movies of 2023. Natasha, give us your number 5.
I put Your Place or Mine in this spot, even though she already talked about it. Most disappointing.
Yeah, me too. It was so bad. It had to be on the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so sad. Why was it so bad?
Why did they have such big stars in such a bad movie?
The only thing good about that was the press tour when we could all laugh at their like very awkward pictures.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Was that good or awkward?
I don't know. It was something to talk about at least. Okay. Moving on. Number 4, worst movie of 2023. Do you want me to go or should you go?
You can go first.
All right. I have Beautiful Disaster.
What is
spot.
this?
This is a new adult romance book that came out in like
Wait, this is an
2013.
adaptation of Beautiful Disaster, the book?
Yes, it is. And I read this in like
fuck.
2013. It's with Dylan Sprouse and a new actress. And it's just
Dylan Sprouse?
yeah, it's just terrible. They decided to go this weird direction where they made it like funny and he has the most like weird like he's supposed to be an MMA fighter, okay? And he's not built like one. No. And then the main girl is like I for some reason she has to like live with him because they made this bet and they're like kind of like fighting at each other, and so like he like gets with all these girls and then she's like, well, I bet you can't sleep with me, something like that. And so they ended up like living together in his room, and that's the plot of the story. And then he has to protect her from like her dad because she's like a gambler or something like that. Okay, I don't remember the whole premise, but I didn't watch it, and I couldn't take it. I had like secondhand embarrassment watching Dylan Sprouse like scream and go like and then it's like I feel like they wanted it to be funny for some reason, because and they would have these like really intense fight scenes between them, like bickering and fight scenes. It just didn't feel real, and it just made me cringe, and it made me have the ick, and so I couldn't finish it. It was really terrible. I do not recommend.
Oh no. That made me remember another bad movie that I watched and completely forgot. So I'm just rotating my list around. All right. Well, Beautiful Disaster coming in at Natasha's number 4. My number 4 was this film Love Again with Priyanka Chopra and Chopra Jonas and what's his name
Sam
from
Heughan.
Outlander? Sam Heughan. I was so excited about this from the trailer. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm seeing that movie. And then I never get to see it in theaters, of course, because I can't even believe it was in theaters.
I can't believe they went on this huge press tour, and she's like this princess coming out about this huge romantic comedy. I forgot to tell you, I watched half of it and I turned it off last week.
So it's about this woman. It's told in the most melodramatic fashion of all time. Like, so we have this opening scene of Priyanka with like her fiance, and they're together for like 5 seconds at this restaurant before she watches him cross the street, and you just see her reaction as he gets like hit by a car or something, but you don't get to see it. It's like weirdly like edited, and it feels like it has no budget. It feels like, so Celine Dion sings in this movie and appears in it, and all the budget, I think, went to Celine Dion's song being in the movie.
I have some insider on this because
right.
Heather was over when we put it on. She's like, oh, let's watch Love Again. And it's going to be really dumb and stupid, but like it's something that we can watch together. And then we put it on. She goes, oh, wait. I think we should turn it off. There's some like grief stuff that happens. I'm like, it's fine. I didn't lose someone that way, so it's okay. And she's like, okay. And so then we're watching it. I'm like, how did this movie get made? And she goes, it's actually so it was Celine Dion who got this movie made, and it was the only way it was made because it's a European movie or European story or something like that. And it was her who was the driving force because she lost her husband in getting in making sure that it was made, and it was the only way it was made because she was attached to it and was going to be doing all the music for it. And you know, yeah,
wow.
That was the only way, and it was her. She wanted the movie made, so she made it happen.
So what happens basically is that Priyanka's character starts texting her deceased ex-fiance, and the number has been redistributed to Sam Heughan, who starts getting these texts, and we think there's going to be like some cute banter back and forth, but there isn't. And like, I do think that they have some chemistry in like the scenes that they are together, but so much of it is spent not together.
Yeah,
like the scenes where they are together are kind of fun, but like so much of it is like trying to pull on like themes of grief that we don't feel at all because you never get to know her other character, and I mean the other character that had passed, and you don't get to know her enough to really care. Mm-hmm. And it's just really poorly put together.
Yeah,
poor writing. It's not good.
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing because it was one of my neighbors and it's like movie nights, and it was so bad.
It was just, yeah. I'm like, I want to finish it so I can see the rest of it. And I love Sam and I love Priyanka. I love them both. Also, her wardrobe in this, she had this like Cinderella moment where she's walking down the stairs and like Sam looks up and like sees her and she's spotlighted and she's wearing this god awful like yellow dress. It's terrible. Like it's bad on her. And like Priyanka is one of the most beautiful women on the planet, and they put her in this fucking ugly grandma dress. It's bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't good, and it's my number 4. Natasha, what's your number 3? Third worst movie of 2023.
My number 3. I went to the premiere for this.
You did?
Yes.
What even is this?
It's called Knights of the Zodiac, and Taya was invited, and she goes, "You want to go to as my plus one?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, that's fine. Like, we can dress up and have a night." So this was all really perpetuated because it was just a bad movie in general. Like, it was like an action hero. I don't know. I think it's like a game or something, like some adaptation of either a game or an anime or a manga, one of those things. I don't know. The only person that I know in it was Famke Janssen, and she's X-Men Jean Grey. That's her. That's the only one that I knew in this movie. And but our experience at the premiere was bad because we were so hungry. They didn't have any food or popcorn, and so the entire time we're watching it, our stomachs are just growling, and we're just talking because we're bored and we want to get out of the movie, but we don't want to be rude, and we're like, "Oh my god, I'm so hungry. What do you want to eat?" And then like, "I don't know. What do you want to eat?" I'm like, "We can go get In-N-Out after this." And so we're just sitting there because we're just not enjoying this movie. It is not for the girlies. Let me tell you that. It is maybe for people like guys who like to game, and I was not the right audience to be sitting down and watching that film. So but even besides that, it was bad. It was a bad movie.
All right. My number 3. So maybe you guys remember I read a lot of Taylor Jenkins novels last year, and one of those novels, or in 2022, and one of those novels was One True Loves, and it was devastating and beautiful and really sweet at the same time. It's about this woman whose husband disappears in a plane crash, and so like she goes through all this grief because she lost her husband, and then like 3 years later she ends up falling in love again, and then her husband reappears because he didn't die. He was stranded on an island for years, kind of like Castaway. But now she's engaged to this other man, and her husband is alive. And so she has like two true loves. Anyway, so I saw that this is like after Daisy Jones came out, like that there was on Amazon One True Loves, the movie, being released. And I was like, oh, this is so exciting. Simu Liu is in it. Wow, I'm blanking on her name right now, but the woman who plays Eliza in the original Hamilton cast was in it.
Oh.
She plays the lead. And there was another name that like you would recognize. Like there were like names in this cast. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to watch the adaptation of this book. And I turned it on. Who? Oh, Philippa Soo. Yeah, Philippa Soo. Is it Philippa Soo? I think it's Philippa Soo. Okay, whatever. Okay. I feel like it's so. Okay, anyway. Anyway, so there's like some nice like actors in this movie that I'm excited about, and the movie is so terrible from the very get-go. It's like the cheesiest Hallmark movie I've ever seen in my life. I'm feeling like so bad for Taylor Jenkins Reid watching it, because like it's shot so poorly, it's like adapted so poorly, like it's unwatchable to the point where I paid money to watch this. Like I feel like I paid more than $5 to rent it, and I didn't finish it because it hurt how bad it was. Don't rent it, don't watch it, just read the book.
That's disappointing. Laura says that's a little how I felt about Red, White, and Royal Blue, but at least that cheesy cute. At least that was cheesy cute rather than cheesy painful.
It's a different level, man.
Yeah. I know. I was like, I wanted you watch all these rom-coms and then you told me they were bad, and then I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. But this one, I'm not.
Don't.
The agony on Christine's face.
It hurt. All right, we're down to the top 2 worst movies. Natasha, what is yours?
Number two. Oh, this is so bad. It was so disappointing. This is 65. So it's 65 million years ago with Adam Driver. Okay. I will watch anything that my favorite boys do. I will watch anything that Henry Cavill does. I will watch anything that Adam Driver does. This was so bad. It had an amazing concept. I was so excited by the trailer, but the trailer like gave away the biggest plot point, which was these Adam Driver is like from a different planet, and his like ship, like a different solar system, different universe, something like that. His ship gets like malfunctioned as he's like in cryo sleep or something, and then it crash lands on Earth 65 million years ago, and now he's like a human. I don't know if he's a human, but he's an alien, and he has to like survive with the dinosaurs. And there's, for some reason, everyone on the ship who he was transporting like dies in cryo sleep, except for I think this one girl who can't speak, and so he's just talking to himself,
skipping Ariel.
Yeah. And so he's just talking to himself the whole time, and there's no plot. It's just them surviving, trying to get to this one point, trying to get off the planet. And it's just frustrating because his lines are he's just frustrated that he can't speak to her. And like, you're supposed to feel, like this father-daughter type of kinship type of thing. And it's not there. Like, you're thinking it's going to be I don't know, like The Mandalorian. No, it's not. Okay. And like there's supposed to be like these like cute little fun moments, and they're not cute. It's just done poorly. But
Sad
like the
time.
dinosaurs were cool. And it was kind of scary, but
Well, that's good.
the
Please,
whole
the
it was
dinosaurs.
just, but it was just boring, and it was so irritating because I'm like, what is the point of this movie?
The point is to just see a man surviving amongst dinosaurs. Like, that is why they made it.
I just, I'm like, you have this really great actor, and he looks really hot in it too. Like he hasn't had a good film where he's looked hot in a while. He's usually like under all this makeup or hair or wigs, but it was like, it was like a Kylo Ren type of thing, and it's just, yeah, disappointed.
All right.
It was bad. All right,
Yeah.
Christine, what's your number 2 movie?
All right. This is another one of the movies that I just like blacked out and like forgot that I even saw. Like until I was looking at worst movie lists, and I was like, oh my God. So my number 2 is You People. It was the Jonah Hill film with like it had a lot of big cast people in it. And it was on Netflix, and Olivia was here, and she was like, oh, why don't we watch this comedy? I was like, yeah, it just came out on Netflix. Let's watch it. And it was painful. Like there are like a couple funny moments in the beginning. So you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be funny, but it quickly just becomes very uncomfortable. It's supposed to be like about, like a take on racism. And I mean, it's just really uncomfortable. It's like the jokes don't hit, so it just gets like to a point where they're just being like racist and like uncomfortable. And like when they're trying to like tell lessons about, about learning about other cultures and stuff, it's very, very on the nose. So it just feels, it's not good. It's just not good. I don't even remember it clear enough to like talk about it. Well, I know I talked about it on the show, I think, after I watched it, because it was just so long and uncomfortable and not funny.
Like poorly done.
Poorly done. It was just very, very on the nose. And I was just like, this is just, it's not hitting at all. So sad times. But that's my number 2. Yeah. All right. We're up to the number 1.
Number 1, same movie.
Number 1. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Teen Wolf is our number 1 worst movie of 2023. I couldn't remember if we even watched this last year, but we did a commentary for it. It was like torture trying to watch that movie. Like it felt so long. We were doing that commentary. I was like, oh my God, I've been here for a century.
They should never have made it without Dylan. 1.
Nope. Oh, yeah.
2. None of it made sense.
It didn't make any sense. It was a bunch of botchical loops. Like, I have no idea what was happening, what the point was. Like, there was like an alternate universe, right? Like, it was so weird and so dumb and so long. And there were so many gratuitous, random things they threw in there.
And didn't Allison like come back from the dead or something?
Yes, she did.
The
best part was Holland like screaming because she's a really good actress.
Yeah. And and they fucking killed off Derek. And I was like, I'm done. This movie is unnecessary. I could have lived in a world where Derek was still alive, but you fucking just killed him in this movie. For what? Why?
For nothing. It made no sense. The movie was a hodgepodge of nonsense. Like, the show already is pretty nonsensical, and this movie took it to like so many higher levels.
But it started out too, where it started at like 100, like we were just thrown back in the world, and there was already something happening that they needed to come back and fix. Like there wasn't any like fun, good character moments. They were just dealing with a problem.
Shit. Yeah.
And there was no, like, what makes Teen Wolf good is like the fun,
characters.
cute, like characters.
Yeah. That's why we watch, not for the random nonsense mythology they throw at us every single episode. It's like mythology vomited on us that makes no sense with the previous mythologies.
Yeah, and then Allison comes back and she's like a villain. They have to like remind her of who she is, and listen, I was just so annoyed. I was just, no, you just killed off Derek. I'm done.
Honestly, like I don't remember much about it except the football field, and like I remember like that all those colored rooms that kid was in that I don't like. Like I just
was there like a child? Oh, there was like Derek's child.
There was something with the kitsune. I don't know. It was so bad. So, like the only reason to watch it was to like make fun of it, and it was even hard to do that in our commentary because it was so bad.
I have no plans to ever rewatch that movie ever again in my life.
Why would you?
I don't know. I just need to remind myself if I ever like
want to see Derek.
If I ever want to rewatch Teen Wolf as a whole, I just need to remember: do not watch that movie.
Just watch the first 3 seasons. That's Teen Wolf.
Yes.
The end.
Yes. I remember being so upset that like Taya got to go to the Teen Wolf thing. I was like, why did we get to go to Teen Wolf? Like this was our show growing up through our 20s.
Growing up through our 20s.
And then I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. We missed it. It's fine. We did not need to be a part of that.
Nope. All right. Well, that's our list of worst movies of 2023. Sadly, a lot of rom-coms on this list. There's a lot of bad rom-coms. It's like they forgot how to make rom-coms. Like they just don't put any effort in, and it's so sad.
So sad.
Hopefully we're coming back around on that, though. Coming back around.
Yes.
All right. It's time for Mary Kiss Cliff.
It is yawning central over here. Oh, I'm like so tired.
I have to pee.
I'm almost done.
I know. All right. So, on Mary Kiss Clip today, I have rain, shower, waterfall.
Oh.
Yeah. What you gonna do?
So, okay. I don't know if there's been a time that I've truly encountered many waterfalls in my life.
When we went to Forks.
Yes, when we went to Forks, or like the backside of water on the Jungle Cruise. Rain, shower, waterfall. Okay, well, I'm going to marry a shower because
me too. Sorry, go ahead.
Showers are just the best.
They really are.
They rejuvenate you. They are way better than baths because you're not sitting in your own dead skin
All
soup.
right, let's not shit on a bath. A bath is wonderful.
When was the last time you took a bath?
2015. But growing up, I loved baths. The only reason is because once you get out of baths, you forget what it's like, how to take one. And but baths are so relaxing for those who have nice bathtubs to bathe in.
Yeah. My parents had like a jacuzzi tub growing up, and that was very fun to be in.
Yeah, my mom did too.
But I still like, I don't know. I love a good like big shower. Like we live in apartments where we have like a tub shower situation. When there's like an epic shower, like I've been in some houses where there's like 2 nozzles and like there's a bench you can sit on. I love those kind of showers. Those are great.
I don't like to sit in a shower.
Yeah,
it makes me feel weird because I don't want to sit on it because naked people sat on it.
Well, if it's your shower, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to kiss a waterfall.
Wow. Harley said waterfalls are already cliffing themselves. And yeah, I know. I thought about that last night when I wrote this and I thought it was funny.
And I'm going to cliff rain. I love rain when I'm at home and I don't have to be out in it. But being is that we just got through a rainstorm and I had to drive and it was scary and I didn't enjoy it. It can go bye-bye for right now. I am a true Californian in the rain. I do not like driving in it. It is not my forte. I fucking hate it. And I don't like being wet. It's the worst.
I am going to kiss rain and cliff the waterfall because waterfalls are scary. You can die if you fall off.
I'm not thinking about being on like top of a waterfall, but like just looking at one is nice.
Looking at one, not looking at the shower or the rain.
But there's beauty in a waterfall. There's not beauty in a shower.
There is beauty in the shower. You're looking at it wrong. There's beauty in rain too. Oh my god. All right. Well, that is our show today. Thank you all so much for listening. We're about to go record Fangirl Tea Time where I will be continuing my Bachelorette story, which is extensive, and I have not actually talked about any of the actual Bachelorette yet.
Yes.
I haven't told Natasha about any of it.
I have no idea. I've been waiting.
Oh my god. So that'll be available at the $5 tier and up on our Patreon. The link is in the show notes. You get that every single week, which is great. And that our show is edited by Jake Needham and Alex Polis with music by Cole Jenkins and vocals by Heather Traska. Chloe Laverson does our socials. She does a kick-ass job. You should follow us on Instagram at Those Four King Fangirls or on TikTok at Those Four King Fangirls. Of course, we're on YouTube as well at Those Four King Fangirls. That's where our visual show is. We release episodes every Friday. My name is Christine.
I'm Natasha.
And we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hehehehe